Hello, fashion lovers. Welcome to today's episode on Knaspa Fashion Blog. Today, we are going to learn how to take body measurements. The tools that will be needed are the tape measure. A tape measure has two types. The short one that has 1 to 60 inches, and we have the longer length that has 1 to 120 inches. We'll be needing the ruler, the pen, and the notebook. How to read the tape measure? The tape measure is divided into sections from 1 to 60 if you are using the short one. And each division is divided into 8. And you realize in between each division, between 1 and 2, we have the half. So if it's divided into 8 smaller sections, when we start from 1, we can say the first one is 1/8, the second one 2/8, which is 1/4, the third one 3/8, and so on until you get to the next whole number. So the tape measure, or you can say from 1, the smaller division, you can say 0.1. So we can read after the whole 1, we can say 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and when we get to the half, we will say 1.5 or 1.5. So when it gets to the smaller one, almost to the next whole number, we can say 1.6, 1.7 before we get to the whole number 2. So when you are taking the body measurement and you don't get a whole number and you get a smaller division in addition, just where it stopped on the next whole number, add the point to it. Preferably, if it's 21.1 or 21.2, you can run it off and just say 21.5. When it's past the half mark and it's 21.6 or 7, just run it off and just say 22. That one will be easier. We'll use the ruler to rule lines in the notebooks when we are taking the measurements. Of course, we'll use the pen to write. We have our lovely lady here who is coming to assist us in taking the body measurement. She's part. When you want to take the body measurement, first we'll group the body measurements into parts. We have some parts that is called the 360s. 360 because the tape measure goes around the body fully. And the first one, the first part of the body that goes round is the bust. And we have the empire, the underbust, which also goes round the body. We have the waist, which also goes round the body, and the hip. So you know, we have 4 360s, which is also a full circle. The bust, the underbust, the waist, and the hip. So in summary, we have the 4 360s because the tape measure goes round the body. And those are the bust, the empire, the waist, and the hip. When we have a full 360, let's go to those that we can go just 180 degrees. Meaning we go halfway. We don't go round the body. So the first one is the shoulder. We don't take it fully like this. So we'll just say we are taking it halfway, which is a 180. Shoulder. We have the chest and across back. So these 7 parts that I've mentioned, you realize the tape measure goes horizontally. Either it's a 360 or a 180. It goes horizontal. So in summary, we will say we have 7 horizontal measurements. The bust, the empire or the underbust, the waist, the hip, the shoulder, the chest, and the across back. Those are the 7 horizontal measurements. When you want to learn how to take the body measurements, when you break them into sections, it becomes easier for you to remember. So when you want to take somebody's measurement, just remember the first thing is your bust, your empire, your waist, and your hip, which is the 4 360s, because the tape measure goes round it. The next part, horizontal part, is the shoulder, the chest, and the across back, which is 3 180s, making 7 horizontal measurements. I hope you understand this part. We move on. When we have the horizontal measurements, we move straight to the vertical measurements. That one, the tape measure is placed on the body in a vertical way, close to the body. So the vertical measurement starts from the shoulder, moves down. The first point it touches is the chest. So we'll write shoulder to chest. The next point is our shoulder to armpit. We take these measurements to help us armhole correctly. So the first one is shoulder to chest, shoulder to armpit. Then the next one will be the shoulder to empire, shoulder to waist. When it passes the shoulder to waist, we don't say shoulder to hip. Since it's almost close to the hip, we will say blouse length or kaba length. When it passes the blouse length, it goes beyond the hip. So any part beyond the hip, we can wear it as a full dress. So we will say a full dress length. And you realize for a dress length, somebody will prefer a short dress length, a medium dress length, or a long dress length. So when we are taking the dress length, we divide it into 3: the short, the midi, and the long. When we finish the dress length, we take the next part, which is the skirt length. When we want to take measurement for somebody who wants a skirt, since we've taken the waist already and the hip already, we just go on to the straight measurement. From the waist, the first measurement we will take is the waist to hip, waist to knee, then the skirt length. Waist to hip, waist to knee, then the skirt length. The skirt length will also be divided into 3 sections: the short part, the midi, then the long. When we finish taking the skirt measurements, we move on to the sleeve part. The sleeve part is made up of the arm. Where the arm is, we take the thickest part of the arm. The tape measure goes around the arm and we call it a round arm. We take the measurement. Then we take the sleeve length. The sleeve length, we first take the shortest part of the sleeve, which is normally the shirt length. Then when it passes the elbow, you don't take the length below the elbow with the arm straight like this. Curve it a little to allow you easing when you wear your long sleeve. So you curve your elbow, let the tape measure passes the elbow, and take your 3/4 length. Then you move on to where the bone of the wrist is, and that will be the long measurement for the sleeve length. So when you are writing the sleeve length too, we divide it into 3: the short, the midi, then the long. Thank you for joining us on today's episode. I hope you learned something today. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment section below or contact us on the number on the screen. If you want to join the Knaspa training, take the number on the screen and contact us for more information. Don't forget to subscribe, like, or share. Join us in the next episode. Thank you.